Welcome back to the Title Deed Desk. In episode 7, we looked at adding and removing owners from a title deed. Today is episode 8. And this one is about the line on your title deed that isn't your name, the mortgage. A quick reminder before we begin. This is general educational information. It is not legal advice. Mortgage registration and release procedures can vary depending on your lender and your circumstances. So always confirm the process with your bank and obtain advice based on your own facts. Here is the framing. When you purchase a property using a bank loan, the bank doesn't simply rely on your promise to repay. It secures the loan against the property. That security is officially registered. Because it is registered, it appears against your ownership in the Land Department Register and on your title deed. This means your title deed can show two things at the same time. You are the registered owner, and the bank has a registered interest in the property until the loan has been released. This episode explains what that mortgage entry means and what happens when it is finally removed. 1. Why the mortgage appears on the title deed. Everything starts with the purpose of the title deed. The deed records ownership. It also records any registered interests affecting that ownership. A mortgage is one of those registered interests. It tells anyone looking at the register that the property has been provided as security for a loan. It also protects future buyers, lenders, and other parties by making the security visible rather than hidden. So seeing a mortgage on your title deed is completely normal. For a financed property, it only becomes something that requires action once the loan has been fully repaid. 2. What the registered mortgage actually affects. A registered mortgage doesn't stop you living in your home. It doesn't stop you renovating or maintaining it. What it affects is your ability to deal with the ownership itself. If you decide to sell, transfer, or refinance the property, that registered mortgage becomes important. Potential buyers will see it. A new lender will expect it to be removed. The existing security must usually be released before ownership can transfer cleanly. For most owners, the mortgage sits quietly in the background for years, but the moment you decide to transact, it becomes one of the first things that needs attention. 3. Paying off the loan is not the end. This is where many property owners get caught. They make the final repayment. They assume everything is finished. Financially, the loan may be complete. Legally, the title deed may not be. Repaying the loan clears your debt with the bank. Repaying the loan clears your debt with the bank. It does not automatically remove the registered mortgage. From the Land Department records, that requires a separate release process. Think of it as two different milestones. First, you repay the loan. Second, you remove the bank's registered security. Many owners only discover this difference years later when they're preparing to sell and realize the mortgage is still recorded against the property. 4. How the mortgage is released. Once the loan has been fully repaid, the bank prepares the documentation, confirming that the debt has been settled and that it consents to releasing its registered security. That approval allows the mortgage release to be processed through the Dubai Land Department. Once the release has been completed, a new title deed is issued, showing ownership without the mortgage entry. The documents, approvals, and filing sequence vary between lenders and deserve their own detailed explanation. That's why the complete process is covered separately at mortgagerelease.ae. For today's episode, remember the overall sequence. Repay the loan. Obtain the bank's clearance. Register the mortgage release. Receive your updated title deed. 5. Why the clean title deed matters. Once the loan is paid, it's tempting to move on. After all, the debt is gone. But the real finish line isn't the last payment. It's receiving a clean title deed. If you wait until you're ready to sell, you may find yourself chasing historical bank documents, arranging for release paperwork, and delaying your transaction. Completing the release while everything is still current is almost always faster and easier than reconstructing the process years later. A clean title deed keeps your property ready for whatever comes next. A note on help. Every bank follows its own internal procedures, and timing can vary. The paperwork has to be completed in the correct order before the mortgage can be removed from the register. Working with a team that manages mortgage releases regularly can often make the process faster and more straightforward, because they understand the sequence and coordinate the filing correctly. The complete mortgage release process is explained at mortgagerelease.ae. And if you would prefer to have the filing managed from start to finish, TitleDeed.ae can assist on a fixed, transparent fee. Next time on the Title Deed Desk, the practical episode. The documents you'll actually need when making changes to your title deed. This was the Title Deed Desk.